Jeff, let's talk about your thoughts on ADA, where you think it's going. I know it's a difficult question. I know there's gray area. I believe enforcement is imminent. There are whispers that it's going to be when, not if, a class action suit typically would come to a larger operator. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's here. I mean, it's not whispers anymore. I've written in the ISS magazine and on my website about it, because there's a big problem, which is that the people who are filing the lawsuits aren't disabled at all. They're just advocacy groups, right? And they do these things called drive-by lawsuits, right? They drive by your facility, or they look at it on Google Maps, and they see that you don't have modern doors, that you don't have facilities. All they have to do is look at your keypad, right? Is your keypad at the legal height for ADA? If it isn't, they don't need to look much further. They can just make allegations and throw it at the wall and make, sort of a terrible pun, but see how high you can jump.
Right.
Because they're going to make you jump high. Right. And remember, they're not necessarily in it for the corrections. They're in it for the money. They're in it for the money to fund their next claim, to fund their organization, right? So you don't get a chance to say mea culpa. I'll lower the keypad. I'll put these adapters on these doors to make them lighter, because again, we're not 100% positive that the ADA is going to absolutely apply to door weights. I think it does. I really truly believe it does. And I'm not sure how far back these enforcement actions are going to actually be allowed to go, whether your facility has to be before 85, after 92. There are all these kind of cutoff dates. But most of the stock out there has some 1985 and later exposure. Even if it's just new buildings you've put on, now you've at least engulfed your facility into this thing, right? So they don't have to look, they just have to see that you don't, and then they just start making regular flat allegations that they make against all facilities, and they're in the money. And why I said it's here now is because we just saw what happened with the Winn-Dixie case. Big class action against a national grocery chain for their website not being accessible to people with visual impairment, right? And that resulted in a very large dollar settlement. Okay? What happened? What would you guess happened within 30, 60 days of that settlement?
Absolutely.
I have 3 very large clients who do business in Florida who have already, self-storage clients who've already been sued over their websites within 30 days. And I understand some of the big REITs are also facing those lawsuits. So once the real low-hanging fruit's gone, there's still going to be lawyers that want to file those lawsuits. And I'm not saying, R3 is going to deal with websites, but it's only a matter of a moment between the lawsuit for the website and the lawsuit for the doors not being accessible, for the gate not being accessible, for other parts of the facility not being ADA compliant. And the best advice I can give is talk to your own attorney about this, because there are nuances to this area of the law. But if you think that you don't ever have to comply, and that your facility's paving can have whatever angles at once, and you can let ice dams form on the ground, and you can have doors that are virtually impossible to open for a regular person, let alone someone in a wheelchair. We used to have a joke in the old law firm that we just wait downstairs in the lobby for the summons, so the process server doesn't have to come all the way up to the 4th floor. You can just wait at the front gate for the summons. It's coming.